What's up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live with my friend Cash Sheeker. You can shout him out on Twitter at Cash Sheeker. He's basically going to help me break down this afternoon slate. This is the slate we normally kill together. We talk about it a lot together, so on and so forth. So basically, starting up top, we're going to go from QBs to running backs, receivers, tight ends, defense. Go from there with our core plays, hit our value plays, and who we're not liking, who we're going to play. Unfortunately, the Ravens with Des Bryant news is not going to be on the afternoon slate like I thought. So basically, we're just going to have to go from there. So starting up top, man, who are you liking as a QB that you're going to go to, man?
Man, my go-to is Kyler Murray. He's got a lot of weapons, and I don't think that Miami defense is going to show up like last game and whatnot. Um, really don't think that they're going to be bailing two out this game. So I definitely go with Murray. Um, of course, Herbert's getting over 20 fantasy points a game. He's coming out hot, and we just got to see what Las Vegas is going to do. I really like him, and of course, just Ben against the Cowboys, man, we're garbage. So,
Dude, literally. So that's what I'm looking at is mainly Big Ben. I like him a lot, especially 6,500, which is 1,300 cheaper than Kyler Murray. Murray's going to be chalk in my opinion. Everybody's going to be on Murray, so I'm pivoting down to Ben Roethlisberger. I like the pairing that you can get with him, especially with James Conner, who's going to thrive in this offense. If we're going to go low, I wouldn't mind getting to a Derek Carr with a Darren Waller kind of combo, facing that defense now without Desmond King, which that's going to hurt him in my opinion without him as in the backfield. I mean, that's going to definitely hurt the defense. Tua is just not a guy I'm trusting. I want to see more out of him. I want to see him more as a system QB and see if he can run. And I'm not even going to look at Garrett Gilbert. There's no way I'm going to play him. Unfortunately, I know it's our hometown team, but I'm not playing him whatsoever. Are you going to get to a guy like Tua, or what are you feeling about him?
no, no, he just has to show himself. He has to get at least 12, 15 fantasy points for me even to consider him going for even towards next week, even just selling on him
Most
and just
definitely. So
definitely got to pay up for a quarterback. You
that's
know,
what I think too. I think the main guys we're going to get to is either Big Ben, Herbert, or Murray. Definitely the top three are the good options. In cash, I'm going to go to a guy like Big Ben, but in GPP wise, I'll like Justin Herbert or the Murray, but more than likely it's going to be Herbert for me in GPPs. Going down to now running backs. Who are you liking up top for running backs if we're going to get to a guy?
I'm probably gonna have to go with Connor. I mean, just Connor. My value would be Jackson. Jackson's been tearing it up too. Um, just a whole lot of upside. Just these running backs, they really don't have any except Connor has Samuels, who might get touches if it's a blowout game. Um, but going to Edmonds and Jackson, man, the just running backs are too cheap on this slate to not want to stack up.
Exactly. So I'm definitely going with James Conner up top. 6,900 is easy money for me. You can easily fit him into your lineups. I love him on the slate. I think he's going to thrive in this offense. I think they're going to depend on him a lot, especially with Big Ben probably not going to throw the ball a ton because I think they're going to go up in the scoring easily against this Dallas defense. I mean, Dallas defense is not prepared. I don't think they're ready for this whatsoever. So, and then you can get to a guy like Chase Edmonds easily, who is going to be a pass catching option in the backfield, who is an underrated player, in my opinion. I think people take him for granted. I think he looks really good and ready for this. I think he's ready for this matchup against Miami easily. I can see him a lot. Zeke, it does have a Q-Tech, but he is out. He's not going to play with his ankle. So you can fire out with a guy like Tony Pollard easily. I like Tony Pollard a lot. I think he's also underrated, in my opinion, behind Zeke. Or you can pivot down to a guy like Justin Jackson, who is 4,900 also, which I think that they trust him a lot more than Joshua Kelly. I don't think Joshua Kelly is a guy you can get to. He fumbles way too much, and Pope is out. More than likely, he is doubtful. So, basically, in my opinion, means he's not going to play. Do you like a guy like Justin Jackson more so than Tony Pollard, or who do you like more, in your opinion?
And I would just have to go with Jackson. I'd definitely play him over Tony Pollard just because of how Dallas offense is struggling. Um, I mean, they'll have the dunk passes over the top and all that stuff. Maybe it'll go to him, but more so it may be going to Schultz. But yeah, I would really just go with Jackson.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
he's
thinking. That's
about
what I'm thinking too. I'm really thinking that. I think that Josh Jacobs is squished in a weird spot with Chase Edmonds and Justin Jackson. I think that he's just priced in the middle, but I'd much rather either pay down or pay up in the running back position. I mean, like you said, Chase Edmonds, James Connors are just locks in my opinion. I think in cash you can lock in James Conner easily, just like Chase Edmonds for value. Fire up Pollard or Justin Jackson anywhere in between these players. I'm not really getting to with the Joshua Kelly, with the Jalen Richard. I'm not getting the guys like that. And Miles Gaskin is on the IR with his ankle, which I hate to see because he's been good this season, surprisingly. But
yeah.
Matt Breida is also not going to play. So I mean, Jordan Howard's 4,000, but I'm not getting to a guy like Jordan Howard when we have guys up here easily that you can get to. Do you have any last thoughts on running back before we move on to wide receiver, man?
No, not really. Josh Jacobs, he's burned me in the past. I'm kind of off on him, but if they ever get into a goal line situation, then I know he'll get his carries in the red zone. So that's my biggest fear going into that Las Vegas and Chargers game.
Right. So that's basically just chalk I'm going to have to be afraid of. But I mean,
Yeah,
we've seen it in the past. He's burned us in the past. I mean, he's definitely burned me when I played him. So he's just kind of on my list where I like playing him. But then again, you have Chase Edmonds and James Conner, and you have Pollard starting now at only $4,000. It's hard not to pass them up. So going on to wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins up top. You can obviously get to him if you want to. If you don't want to, I want to blame you. But the big news of the slate is the Keenan Allen news that I saw earlier with the or he has a negative test, but he's feeling symptoms of COVID, which is going to be scary if he does play. I mean, he has symptoms, so it's going to be interesting to me if he does or does not play. Which I'm glad this game is in the afternoon at around 3:25. Obviously, the afternoon slate. So we'll have news well before this game does kick off and to know if he does play or does not play. What are you thinking up top in this range with DeAndre Hopkins, Juju, and Keenan Allen?
man, with just how the value's going, I just gotta go with Hopkins. Like if he's getting, even 7 receptions as a low ball, man, he's just gonna tear it up. And he should tear it up. Him and Kirk, um, that they should just go all out. Kirk, I think he's already had 2 games straight of 20 points. And then before then, he was even getting 10 points. So he's definitely somebody that's going to get you points, especially at 5'3". Man, that's really cheap.
Exactly, man. I'm really liking DeAndre Hopkins. If you play him, like I said, you play him, you lock him in. If you don't, I don't blame you either way. You can fire him up.
No,
Juju is a guy I'm liking. I think you can't go wrong with him or Chase Claypool. I think these two guys are easily good plays with Roethlisberger. But I'm liking Deontay Johnson down here at only 5,000. We've seen him outwork both these players easily in the past. We've seen him do a lot better than Chase Claypool and Juju. He's a value I'm loving on this slate at only $5,000. I think he's a guy you plug in and play. If you play Ben Roethlisberger, you lock and load James Conner and Deontay Johnson. That trio is basically what I'm loving. You can get to like a guy like I said with Chase Claypool. I don't mind him. I mean, he's the potential of 4 TDs. Amari Cooper, it's scary to me playing him with Garrett Gilbert. I'm not doing it. It's not really on my radar. Christian Kirk, like you said, he's a good play. I think he's a good price point. I think he gets you targets, he gets you receptions, he gets you yards, he gets you everything that you need. I like Christian Kirk. Parker is not a guy I'm getting to because of Tua. I don't think you can trust him. Now, the guy, the slate that I'm looking at beside Deontay Johnson is Mike Williams. Mike Williams might be a good play if Keenan Allen is out. even if he's not out, we see Mike Williams have his good games, but we've seen him have his bad games also. So Mike Williams is basically just a sneaky play that I'm going to lock and load. If Keenan Allen is limited or if he's out, I'm liking Mike Williams. Who are you liking in this range of the 5,000 range, man?
Oh man, I'm loving Mike Williams. I'm loving Mike Williams, and I'm loving Renfro. Renfro is just getting the looks. He's getting the targets. He's getting more targets than Ruggs. Ruggs is getting about 4 the last couple of games. I mean, it could change, but I mean, just Renfro is really consistent. Aguilar, he's probably getting like 1 or 2 receptions a game. I mean, it would be a big old risk to get him. I'm definitely not going after Gallup.
Heck no.
I, I think if you're really wanting to look for a prayer, you could go for Preston Williams. He he'll just be good for a deep ball threat, But with how Tua was, he was only giving these receivers like 1 reception each, uh, maybe even 2 to uh, who's the top guy up there? I can't remember.
So you have DeAndre Hopkins up top.
There it is, Parker. Yeah, maybe he had 2 receptions last game, but I mean that's really not going to cut it. But yeah, I do like Renfro, Larry Fitzgerald at 3,800. He's a solid pick. Um, he's been getting targeted lately, but the only thing is if it's a blowout game, then you can forget about him being on the field in the fourth quarter because they'll definitely rest him.
Right. So basically down here is like you said, Fitz. I love him. I think you can get to him. If you get to him, if you don't, you don't. The guy I'm looking at is Jared Guyton. If not only if Keenan Allen is limited or having potential being out, other than that, man, I'm liking this range of the 5,000 with Deontay Johnson, with Kirk, like you said. I like him a lot. So on and so forth. Mike Williams. Going on to tight end. Who is your top tight end basically on this slate?
Man, my top would be. Just waiting for it to load.
You're good, man.
I'd go with Hunter Henry. I mean, just basically somebody's going to have to give the points. And Henry would be the best bet. I'm hearing a little bit of echo, so it's kind of having me stall out a little
You're good,
bit.
man. You're good. So, basically for tight end, I'm liking Hunter Henry, like you said. You can definitely get to him at only $4,000. I mean, I don't see why he's priced next to Schultz and over Gesicki. I mean, Hunter Henry has been a good guy this late, and seeing him in the past. I also love Darren Waller, who is 5,800. I think he's a price that you can pay for. I think he sees targets unlike any other for the Raiders. I think he's been underrated this season also. He's unstoppable in my opinion. Now without Desmond King also, I think you can fire up Darren Waller. I also wouldn't mind getting Eric Ebron in this Pittsburgh offense against the easy Dallas defense. Who you liking other than Hunter Henry if you had to get to somebody?
Definitely Ebron. Ben has been looking his way for quite a while now, and his receptions are coming on up. Now he's getting about 4 receptions. I mean, definitely against Dallas, he could probably get 6 or 7 easily, and possibly a touchdown if they get to. So yeah, I do like Eric Ebron a lot.
Most definitely. So basically, the guys I'm looking at, like I said, in cash, fire up Darren Waller. I think you can fire him up. And GPPs, I like Hunter Henry and I like Eric Ebron a lot. Going on to defense, are you paying up for the Steelers defense or who are you going for?
No, I'm going with the Cardinals, man. I'm $2,000 cheaper, man. That's you have so many options with that $2,000. So I definitely want to go with the Cardinals. If I'm looking for possibly even cheaper, I might go for the Raiders. I mean, but really, I just don't want to pay up for the Steelers because, man. Is there going to be like a 20-point difference between the Steelers and the Cardinals? This is going to get whooped pretty bad, but Man, that's just hard. That $2,000 gap is just way too much for me to pass up on. What
Most
about you? What do
definitely.
you think?
So basically, in cash, I think you kind of have to play the Steelers because of everybody's going to be on them, and they're obviously going to whoop on the Dallas offense. In GPPs, though, I'm definitely looking at a pivot to the Cardinals defense. I could definitely do just as well as the Steelers defense. I like the Cardinals a lot against Miami. I think that Tua's unproven, and now without Miles Gaskin, who has been really good this season, and a young prospect who I like a lot, I don't think Jordan Howard's prepared for this matchup whatsoever against the Cardinals defensive line. I don't think Jordan Howard's ready. I don't think he's ready at all prepared. So basically, like I said, in cash, fire up the Steelers defense. You kind of honestly have to go to them because of the ownership. And GPPs, though, definitely fire up the Cardinals. Do you have any last closing thoughts, man, before we head out?
Man, just stack up on the Steelers and Cardinals. Man, I mean, just both of them should have easy wins, and they have a lot of cheap players on their team that you can stack up with, and then you can just throw in a Mike Williams for the Chargers, or look to the Raiders and pay up for Darren Waller. I mean, just a whole there's a whole lot of good salary prices, and you can be able to work around with it. You can throw in 3 running backs easily and call it a day.
Exactly. That's pretty much what I'm looking at. I'm pretty much just stacking the Pittsburgh offense and cash fire up the Steelers defense and GPPs. Man, I'm looking at Arizona mainly and some of the Chargers to run it back with. Other than that, man, that pretty much wraps it up for me. Hit that like button for me, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That helps me out a lot. You can shout out Cash Shaker on Twitter, and you can find his Twitter on my YouTube channel. That will be there whenever I share this video out to everybody. And that pretty much wraps it up for us, guys. So, like I said, I hope everybody has a good and safe night. And that pretty much wraps it up for us. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care.